Now, coming back to you, Tanya, what is your thoughts and what do you think life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is?
Life itself is that Zoe. It is what makes you you. It is what gives us vibrance. It's what gives us purpose. It's what gives us meaning into why we are even here. It's life. We were born into life. Liberty is the right to live that life in decency and in order and with the unalienable freedoms that both the Bible and the Constitution affords mankind to have. The pursuit of happiness is the outgrowth of both of those to say my gifts, my talents, and the things that fulfill me and the things that cause me to contribute to the fulfilling of others. That's that pursuit and outgrowth of the aforementioned. Now, what we have here in our Constitution, it says that we have the rights of certain inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So this is supposed to be afforded to every human being born on the face of this earth. But what's happening is as you have different legislation, different laws, different censorships that impede that process and impedes the ability of us to pursue have the pursuit of happiness, and by barring our lives and our liberties, this is where we start to run into a problem. And not only that, because in the Constitution, even though this is a little, it's part of the subject, but a little bit off of the subject, since in the Constitution, black people are still listed as uh, three fifths of one man. How the hell do you do that? How do you create three fifths of a whole human being? So that means that this is what we have to pay attention to while we're getting angry at each other and we're going back and forth in these senseless, futile debates. These are the things that we have to look at and say, okay, so we're still listed as three fifths of a man. So is the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness? We only get three fifths of that, and how is that measured? How is it measured? Is this the reason why things are legislated the way they are? Is this the reason why we're still asking for stuff that should be automatic to us as human beings in this country? But you can take our labor of 70% and you can take our money of 90% back into the structure that we built, but then we are not protected by the police system. We're half protected by the laws. So what is this actually? And is it pendant upon us being only listed as three fifths? Still, when that came back up, what was that, in 2009, 2010, something like that, that came back up, and it's still the same. How did that happen? I'm going to calm down for now.
Okay, look. This is true indeed. Clyburn, South Carolina representative, House of Representative Clyburn, who also had the fish fry and the picnic, and he was the so-called kingmaker in South Carolina. He says that we are actually, once the 13th Amendment, actually the 14th and 15th Amendment that made us full citizens, then the three-fifths compromise was null and void. However, knowing how the European thinks and how everything has to be in writing for it to make perfect sense, you know that the writing has to say three-fifths compromise, that the people are whole, and you have caught on something that I had never had really thought about. I've thought about the three-fifths compromise, but I never thought of it that is why we're being treated the way that we're being treated. Why American blacks are being treated the way they are being treated. And thus and so once they start to treat us like that, then it starts to have a domino effect and they can treat others. And this is what we're talking about. But we're talking about American blacks. Okay. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of. Life is a characteristic that distinguishes physical entities that have biological processes such as signaling and self-sustaining processes from those that do not, either because such functions have ceased, they have died, or because they never had such functions and are classified as inanimate. Life is to fulfill your process and accomplish your goals. Everyone has purpose of why they are living. None would exist if there was no purpose, right? So you're on. See, you gave the connotative, and now I'm reading the denotative, right? And so connotative, denotative. Connotative is everyday ways of speaking it, and the denotative is the dictionary definition. So